before we dive in, I gotta ask, is it true that you wake up at 4 a.m. and intimidate the sun into rising?
I like to get up early. I like to
Yeah.
get up early, and that way, hopefully, I could get up before the babies get up.
So I've heard you talk about being 14 and getting evicted. That's really hard for a young child. Most people would just let that memory sit and stay in that zone for the rest of their lives. But you seem to have turned that into fuel. What were those early moments that made you want to drive forward? What set that into motion? What was the precursor to the mindset of The Rock?
It started to happen for me when, to be honest, when we were evicted out of Hawaii. So we were living in a little apartment. We were evicted when I was 13 or 14 years old. And I remember in that moment, I never wanted to feel that again. I was with my mom, and we came home, and there was a padlock, or there was a notice.
Oh, wow.
So you have a week to get out.
And that was it.
And that was it. And I remember just her and I, and she was standing there. She was crying. She didn't know what to do. And my dad was wrestling in Tennessee at that time. And I remember then thinking, I never want to experience this again. And what can I do to change it? What can I do? Like, what can I do with my own two hands? Now I'm 14. So I can't do shit.
You know, that's a hard place for a 14-year-old.
Right? So I remember at that time thinking, well, all the heroes in my life are these guys. They're these guys who are, they're big, they're strong, they're pro wrestlers. I bet you if I built my body and if I went to the gym, then I could change this scenario. So from that moment, I think, that defining moment, now years later, I fell in love with the game of football.
Right.
I love playing football. My goals shifted to, well, maybe I got a shot to go to the NFL. I was at University of Miami, great school. We were national champions, played for it on 2 other occasions. I mean, we were balling back then. Those Hurricanes back then, dude. But we were really balling. So I shifted my goals. And then when that didn't happen with the NFL, I took it as a sign.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, I need to close this chapter in my life, really listen to my gut. And I want to turn my attention to something I think I'm going to be so passionate about, and I think I was born to do.
Wow. You took it as a passion. One of the things I find fascinating, it seems like everyone has this origin story, something that just sparks it. I guess that world of going through what you had to go through with your mom and just deciding, I don't ever want to experience this again. I see that a lot. A lot of people say they go through something and they're like, I just don't want to ever face it again, and I'm going to stop it. And I'm actually fascinated also by the contrast between your life as a child and the life you model with your children. Your dad had to be kind of, hard with his approach, but you let your daughters paint your nails. You get to be soft with them. How do you balance those two versions of yourself?
Let's start with the last thing you said, because it's the anchoring thing, Trev. It is, I am their model of what a man will be. I'm their first man in their life. So I take that with all the DNA that I got in my body, and I take that not only so serious, but I want to be that example for them. Now, let me just take you back for a second. The man who raised me, who was my dad, Rocky Johnson. His dad died when he was 13. The holidays that came up after his dad's death, a new boyfriend was in the picture. Boyfriend gets drunk, pisses on the turkey. My dad's 13. He grabbed a shovel, a big shovel, my dad did, and drew a line in the dirt and said, if you cross that line, I'm going to kill you. The drunk asshole crossed the line. He knocked him out, cold as a block of ice.
Wow. Your dad knocked him out.
His dad knocked him out with a shovel and tried to kill him.
Wow.
13. They're dirt poor. They live in Amherst, at Nova Scotia. The cops come, and the cops say, well, he's still unconscious, but he's not dead. When he wakes up, one of two things is going to happen. He's going to kill your son, or your son is going to kill him. So the cop's recommendation to my dad's mom was, one of them has to go. You know where I'm going with this now. She looked at her son, my dad, his name was Wade, and said, you have to go. So 13, he's out on the streets. Now, the reason why I tell you that story is that's my dad's capacity for love. 13. You're gone. So that's the man that raised me. So that's the stiff upper lip.
Right.
Come on, work through it. You'll be good.
Right.
Get up. I'm getting up. You're getting up. We're going to the gym. I'm 5. I can't go to the gym. You're going to the gym. You sit in the corner. You watch. And that was how I grew up. You're coming with me to the wrestling matches. It was always rough. It was tough. But that's his version of love. Okay, so now years later, when I have the blessing to become a dad, and to these 3 beautiful daughters, man, I learned so much from my dad on work ethic, discipline, respect is given when it's earned, be proud of who you are, be proud of your skin color and what makes you up, your DNA. But at the same time, I also know what it's like not to be hugged and not to be kissed on the cheek. And so in learning of that, now I turn to my daughters and it's, oh, you want to paint my face? Get the paint. How many colors do you want to put on? What do you want to paint my nails? You want this? You want to do that? You want to hit me in the balls? Okay, great. I'm going to close my eyes. I know it's coming. It's that game. Close your eyes, Daddy. Okay, here we go.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, man. I mean, I love and appreciate my old man. We had a complicated relationship, but my daughters helped shape me being a man. My dad helped shape me being a man, but also being a father on what to do and, you know, the stuff that I missed.
So you took the best parts of that life, what it sounds like, and you left out all of the bad parts as you move forward with the next generation of your children, taking the discipline, but also making sure that you provide the love aspect as well. I have a daughter myself, so I understand it's really a balance that you have to straddle. Being the father, balancing the discipline with the love. And like for you, you're literally the definition of masculinity for probably millions of people, but yet you openly talk about mental health. As someone who has ADHD myself, I realize that it is an important thing in our society that often gets overlooked. Even the strongest people who have it. I think David Goggins is another guy who's like super masculine, but yet he's very open and vulnerable in many ways, like you are. And how do you recognize, or how do you reconcile being the rock versus being a human being? And when you decided to open up about everything, or just be so open, did you have any reservations or second thoughts about it?
Didn't even think about it. I didn't even look at it that way. I didn't think, well, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe there's a reputation I should uphold. Big, strong men. It's that culture. How is it going to be received? I didn't really think about it. I just remember, I don't remember exactly when, but I remember being in an interview or something, and then I started talking about it. And I realized as I was saying it, and I certainly realized it after the feedback I got, and this was probably years ago, of how much it helped. How much it helped guys, how much it helped men, how much it helped people. So, but also, Trevor, I went through bouts of depression not knowing what I was going through.
Yeah.
I didn't know what depression was. 20 years ago, there wasn't, this is depression.
Right.
It's mental health.
Yeah, I mean, people back then, they probably just thought you were just sad.
They thought you were sad.
Yeah.
They thought maybe you were hungover. They thought a lot of things. They thought maybe you need to get on medication or not. But you know what a lot of people thought, and people still think this today, is, yeah, but it's a choice. You'll get through it. Wake up. It's a choice to be happy. It's a choice to be sad. So come on, like buck up.
Right.
You got this. Move on. When a lot of times you just wake up blue and you don't have that choice. And it's not that easy. You just don't turn it on or turn it off. And I also realized as I went down the road, once I started to realize what it was, why I felt I didn't want to do anything, why I was emotional about things. At first, it happened at University of Miami when I was 18 years old. I came in, everything was great. I was on top. I get injured, complete reconstruction with my shoulder. I was done. I wasn't participating in team meetings, practice. I wasn't going to class. First time away from home.
You're
all
isolated.
Isolated,
Yeah.
brother, and it all converged. I went through my first bout of depression back then. Also, back when I had $7 in my pocket, and then when I got a divorce, and so on and so on and so on. And then once I started to realize what it was, I started to not only did it help me realize what it was, but then realize the power of talking about it and how important that is. And now I can tell young men, young women, kids, students, older people, doesn't matter. Hey, it's your superpower. It's okay. Talk about it.
Right.
Be open. If you're feeling blue, if you're feeling fucked up, if you don't have the answers, even if you don't know why, because a lot of times, sure, there's a thing that this thing happened, therefore I'm depressed. But a lot of times people just wake up and the skies are gray.
Yep.
And you don't know what to do. And one of the most powerful things you can do is, number one, know you're not alone. Know that if you're experiencing it, there's a lot of other people out there experiencing it too, and talk about it.
Speaking of being vulnerable, I want to touch on this as well because it's kind of a similar tangent, but it's a little bit different. But I saw a poll that said 46% of Americans would like you to run for president. And honestly, I feel like both political parties would recruit you. I mean, I feel like if anyone, like probably Coke and Pepsi would sign you at the same time. But The Rock for president, is that something that you would ever consider?
So that was an interesting poll that happened, and I was really moved by that, and I was really blown away, and I was really honored. I was. I'll share this a little bit with you. At the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, rather, in 2022, I got a visit from the parties asking me if I was going to run and if I could run.
Wow.
And it was a big deal, and it came out of the blue, and it was one after the other. And they brought up that poll. They also brought up their own deep dive research and data that would prove, should I ever decide to go down that road,
you might actually win.
Yeah, and it was all very surreal because that's never been my goal. My goal has never been to be in politics. As a matter of fact, there's a lot about politics that I hate.
Yeah, I've
So
heard.
I was moved by that, and the reason why I had given that response, if that's truly what the people want, then of course I will consider it. And after that response, that's when the parties came. But then I really had to double down on this idea, and this is the truth, which is, well, I got little ones. And I have 3 daughters.
Right.
Right. I have a lot of estrogen in my house, and I love it. But I have a 22-year-old daughter, and I have a 7, and I have a 5.
Yeah.
And the 22-year-old daughter, Simone, we essentially, I like to say, man, we grew up together. But I also know what it's like to be in a occupation that took me away. And I was, as a pro wrestler, full-time, wrestling 230 dates a year for years as she came into the world. So I know what it's like to have that separation and not be there for the birthdays, not be there for the pickups, the drop-offs, and everything else. And I didn't want that. I don't want that for my little ones now.
Right.
And so that was one of my primary discussions with the parties, who ultimately were like, yeah, but the other ones have done it like this.
Yeah, I know, right? I saw a clip with Obama, and he was talking about the same thing. He said there is no balance. There were many weekends where, or many weeks where he might be there on the weekend.
So with the response, I responded in that way. I thought it was important, and I do feel that way, by the way. If that's ultimately what the people would want, then...
So you're saying that if there came a time where people really wanted you to be president, then you would do it?
Of course I would consider it.
Okay. I guess you just have to pause, listen, and hear what the people are saying. That's real leadership. Something that a president would do. But you seem like you're able to handle tough situations well. I mean, since you were a small child, um, this one was a big surprise to me. But how did you make this work? Your ex-wife as your business partner, that's like keeping your cake and eating it too, but the cake is on fire and you're both holding the extinguisher. I mean, divorce usually destroys relationships. And for you, you've made it a stronger one. How did you do that?
We can still make it all happen. We just have to be unattached to how we get there. And let's also be unattached to what the original goal was. Now, the original goal wasn't divorce, and divorce was fucking hard, man. And especially at that age for me, I was getting a divorce. I transitioned out of wrestling. And when I left wrestling, I was on top. I was very lucky and fortunate. I was on top main event, and I thought, but I want to expand, I want to grow,
Yeah.
and I want to bring wrestling with me. And then I thought, God, is this the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life? And so there was that, and going through a divorce at the same time. Our daughter at that time maybe was 3-4 years old. Who's going to be raising her along with me? Who's another man? Eventually, I'm sure she will meet another man. Like, there was all that shit that was going on in my head. What I realized was, with Danny, my ex-wife, who is now my business partner, we're great friends, and is a force unto herself.
She really is.
She really is. Extremely proud of everything that she's accomplished. Is we realized early, once we kind of got through okay, we're going to get a divorce. This is real. This is happening. It's not what we signed up for. You know, is there a version of this as we move forward where we started to build this business together? Can we continue to build this business together? Is that possible? Are we fucking crazy? And the thought was, well, let's look at the dynamic here. We have a beautiful daughter. We have an opportunity now to show her a way, post something not working out, post a relationship and marriage not working out, but being an example for her of how you can work through something and resolve something. And on the other side of it, it may not be originally what you signed up for, but who knows? It could be better. And so we realized that, and then we went to work. And when I say we went to work, it is bringing in the experts who
Right.
can help us. And I'm not talking about lawyers. We kept them off to the side. And we figured all that on our own.
That's beautiful, man.
We figured it all out on our own, and then we went to them. But we brought in the experts, the relationship experts,
Right.
who are going to help us through this thing. And we wound up doing it. It took a lot of work and a lot of grinding, because you start to unpack a lot of stuff, and you start to realize a lot of stuff about yourself, about your partner, about the relationship, about how you see the world, how you see everything, how you see love. How you think you're pretty good at relationships,
Yeah,
but actually
yeah.
you're not. You got a lot to learn. So that's what we did, and it wound up being a great decision. Question for you though. So there's a moment I feel like it happens in all of our lives where it's that seminal, defining moment where you go, "This is why I was born."
Well, I think for me, it started as a child. I always wanted to build and create. I just noticed I would take apart all of the electronics in the house and put it back together. My parents hated me sometimes for it. I would either break something or fix it. It just became I was the guy that put stuff together and put it back together, but I've noticed that I just like to create. So for me, throughout my whole life, I just wanted to create whatever was inside of my head. I wanted to see it come out into the real world. Um, and I try to keep that, or maybe it just happens naturally, but mindset for everything that I do. If I'm about to do something and it doesn't align to that, then I either try to avoid it or just make it go by as quickly as possible. But I really lean in on the situations or the things that allow you to just create what's in your head. But when I see you, it reminds me of this book. I didn't read the whole book, but I skimmed through parts of it. It's called The Mountain Is You. It seems like you've conquered every mountain: wrestling, Hollywood, business, potentially politics. Although you've conquered so much already, what is the next thing? What's left once you've already reached the top?
Let me preface with, man, I'm lucky. And I feel like along the way, I got lucky. And you hear, well, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that could be true. But I do feel that by the grace of God, man, I've had just these angels, I feel like along the way,
Yeah.
who just help guide and shape and shift me and take care of me at the darkest and lowest. And those angels, by the way, are still in my life. I could count them on one hand. Have fingers left over, I like to say. But so I want to preface it with how grateful I am. And I'm a lucky guy to be in this position. And I'm lucky to had climbed a mountain and breathing a certain air that I'm well aware that at times it's a rare air.
Okay.
And the thing I want to do now is not stay here in this place on this mountain, but I want to build more mountain. I want to build more mountain professionally, but more importantly than professionally, I want to build more mountain spiritually, emotionally. Humanity is so important to me. And not only build more mountain, but then bring everyone with me so we can all build new mountain. And especially now when there is so much noise, there's so much toxicity, there's so much bullshit that everybody is dealing with from the moment you wake up, the moment you go to bed, you open your phone, turn the TV on, listen to the radio. There's so much toxicity and noise. But man, there's also so much good stuff out there too as well. So build new mountain.
Okay. Build a new mountain. Well, thank you again for just sharing all of your knowledge, your wisdom. Hopefully, whoever is watching this episode will have some nuggets of wisdom that they can take with them and just build their own secrets of success. If you've enjoyed this episode, then stay with us for the next one. I'll see you next time.